time of the night where we get to learn some English pronunciations from none other than Willis, the word master, also known as the professor of pronunciations these days. Willis, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Betty. How are you tonight?
I'm great, Willis. It's great to see you. I met some people who are now calling you Professor of Pronunciations. P.O.P.
Well, that is great. That's great. That's
yes,
great.
Willis. All right, Willis. So are you ready for tonight's show?
Very ready and just waiting for what you have for me.
All right, Willis. Let's get straight to it by taking a look and listening to what Kenyans had to say on the street this week.
Tete-A-Tete, Tete-A-Tete, Tete-A-Tete,
Tete-A-Tete,
Tete-A-Tete, Tete-A-Tete,
Tete-A-Tete, Tete-A-Tete, Tete-A-Tete, Tete-A-Tete,
Tete-A-Tete,
Tete-A-Tete,
Tete-A-Tete,
Tete-A-Tete, Tete-A-Tete, Tete-A-Tete,
Tete-A-Tete, Tete-A-Tete,
Tete-A-Tete, Tete-A-Tete,
Tete-A-Tete, Tete-A-Tete,
Tete-A-Tete, Tete-A-Tete,
Tete-A-Tete,
Tete-A-Tete,
Tete-A-Tete,
Tete-A-Tete,
Tete-A-Tete, Tete-A-Tete, Tete-A-Tete.
Tete-A-Tete.
Willis, you've had there. Our Kenyans never disappoint to make us, laugh or get tickled on a Friday night. So that word.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, very many people are complaining they didn't know what that word means, what it is. So is it tete-a-tete, that word that means a private conversation between two people? What is that? Tete-a-tete? Tete-a-tete?
Well, it's important for those who want to get the correct or acceptable pronunciation to understand that this is a borrowed word, a word that is borrowed from French, and we say tete-a-tete, tete-a-tete. So we don't say tete-a-tete, 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 and all that. You just say tete-a-tete, tete-a-tete.
Okay, so tete-a-tete, not tete-a-tete. Thank you for that, Willis. All right, let's go to the next word. Do we say offertory or offertory? Do we pronounce that O?
We have an elision in that word that is towards the end. We say tree, offertory, offertory, plural, offertrees. Offertories.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's a surprise because I'm used to offertories. When you go to church, it's time for offertories. Offertory. Yes. All right, what do you call that act of using somebody's work as your own? Plagiarize? Is that the correct pronunciation? Plagiarize?
No. You say plagiarize. Plagiarize. So we don't say plagiarize. Plagiarize. Plagiarize.
Okay, Willis.
Yes.
All right, got it. Now there are a number of people who I have met who say behind. I want to know, Willis, from you, the master of pronunciations. Is this correct? Going behind, behind someone, behind.
Betty, certain pronunciations which are used locally may sound stylish but defective. We say behind, behalf. And then we also say behave. So when you hear of behind, behalf, behave, they sound stylish or like what one may call a swag, but when we are serious about pronunciations, we just say behind, behalf, behave.
All right, Willis, let's get to another complicated word. We always hear about comptroller when you're talking about a person who handles different financial accounts. Is that right, comptroller?
comptroller, like when you're talking about the person in charge of certain operations at the State House,
Yes.
many people say comptroller, comptroller, which is not the pronunciation of that word. That word, that is the variant spelling of controller, State House controller. So don't say comptroller. I want to give you an example, Betty. We have the word jail, 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 which is commonly used. But there is another variant spelling of the same word. We have Gaol. So you don't say gaol, and all that. You also just pronounce it as jail. So such words are called look and say. You don't follow the spelling very closely. So controller, not comptroller.
So let's get to another one. Do we say I'm a Christian or I'm a Christian? Christian?
I'm a Christian. Another surprise, I believe.
Yes.
Christian. The person is a Christian. But when the word is changed for grammatical function, we now talk of Christianity, tianity, not Christianity. Christian, Christianity, Christian. Yes.
All right, got it. That I don't know. That's a very nice surprise word, Willis. Let's move on to another word that we hear a lot in our sports bulletins. Do we say arch rivals or arch rivals?
Arch rival, no. Arch rival, archbishop, archdiocese, and we also talk of arch enemy or archduke, archduchess. But we don't say architect, we say architect, architect, architecture, archipelago, archaeology. So we must draw the line between arch and arch. When it's a prefix or a combining form, we say arch. But when it's we have a digraph, CH, taking the sound K, like a K.
All right. Wow,
Yes.
Willis, I like that. So it's arch rivals and not arch rivals. All right.
Arch rival,
All right.
architecture.
All right, got it, Willis. Thank you for that.
Yes.
All right, let's move on to our feedback question. We have two words here. We have worship, meaning a ship which has been, equipped with weapons, and we also have worship in terms of going to church and singing and praising. What is the difference in pronunciations, Willis, of those two words?
I remember somebody called Esther Njeriokiam asked that question. So she should be aware that we say worship, worship, a worship, W-A-R-S-H-I-P, worship.
Worship.
Fighters using a worship. But when we go to church, we don't say worship the way it is commonly said locally. Now we should talk of worship. Just like worm, not worms, the worms, to the worm. So W-O-R, worship. But many people say worship without knowing.
Wow, Willis, tonight you have so many surprise words. So got that
I know.
difference in pronunciation. So in church we say we worship. Okay, let's quickly move on to your surprise word, Willis. Which one is it tonight?
Well, Betty, I believe you've been hearing about brochure. Brochure. Get me the brochure. There is nothing like brochure. What we are calling brochure is a brochure, or brochure, brochure. You have two acceptable pronunciations for that word: brochure or brochure, sure, not sure.
All right.
That
wow,
is my
Willis.
surprise word for tonight, Betty.
Wow, I like all those words tonight. So many surprises tonight, Willis. It's always a pleasure having you on Friday briefing. I guess it's up until next week.
Always my pleasure when it comes to standard, correct, or acceptable pronunciation of English words.
All right.
Any English word on earth.
Wow, Willis, the word master, coming to us from Kisumu County, teaching us those difficult pronunciations like arch rival and not arch rival. Thank you very much, Willis. Always a pleasure having him on the show. Remember to always catch him right here on Friday Briefing.